When I first started in youth ministry years ago, I would have never predicted that one of the key factors happening in youth ministry is that when young people graduate from high school, they would leave the church and they would graduate from church and their faith. That is something that became too hard for us to ignore. Doing what we've been doing for 18 years was important and strategic work, but the one thing we need to do is we need to imagine some new ways to come alongside the church and help them serve the next generation.
Pray For Me has had an incredible impact on the churches I've served. We've been involved for really the whole decade that the Pray For Me has been going on, and I've just watched how God has blessed our churches through this ministry.
The first thing that stands out with my involvement praying for the young people, because of my age, all of my children are raised and gone. I didn't have any contact really with the young people. And so one of the incentives for me was I began to pray for them so I might get to know them better. Another thing was it helped me organize my prayer life. It's one thing to say, well, God bless this guy and God bless my grandchildren, but to be specific was a tremendous help to me, because those qualities that are listed in our prayer guide are very basic qualities that all Christians should have.
So I started Pray For Me when I was in 6th grade. And I went all the way through the program, graduated high school, and then became a prayer champion. So as a Pray For Me student, I had some of the most phenomenal prayer champions. I had one who was a pastor's wife who was my prayer champion. And high school, I truly believe, is one of the hardest times in a person's life. I was working, had school, taking honors classes, and there was a time my junior year where I was just swamped. I felt very overwhelmed, and I got a text that just said, just know all of your anxieties, cast them to the Lord and all this. And it was the craziest thing because I felt peace instantly. I just knew that I was being prayed for, and it's an amazing feeling. And now being on the other side of it, I get to do that for a student.
About a year ago, my bride Laurel and we wanted others to be praying for our children. We have 2 sons and a daughter who are all now teenagers. I think of that passage in Hebrews 12, the great cloud of witnesses. And Laurel and I both are beneficiaries of men and women who've invested in our lives, from youth leaders and pastors and coaches and teachers. So last year we invited 12 men to pray for Thomas, 12 men to pray for Noah, and 12 women to pray for Bella.
It is one of our greatest privileges as a married couple to pray for our family. Using the Pray For Me grandparent guide, I have loved the idea of praying for these essentials, these broad character building essentials for my grandchildren. Because as a grandparent, I'm not always involved in the day-to-day, everyday things that go on.
We just know the importance of prayer, and we know the importance of adults besides parents being engaged with young people.
I also know if we only pray for our children and our grandchildren, that's not wise kingdom living. We all need people besides our kinfolks praying for us, and that means so much.
If someone's contemplating being a prayer champion, my first thought is, what is there to lose? I mean, you have the opportunity to make an impact in a student's life. Somebody could have made that impact in your life when you were younger. You could be that person for them. It's an amazing opportunity. In my mind, because I was a student through it, I'm like, why would anybody pass this up? I can remember conversations that I had with my prayer champions, and just different times we went out to eat or gifts that they got me. And it truly has left an impact on my life, and I want to be that for somebody else. Prayer can move mountains, so be that for somebody. Students are going through so much, especially in today's world. It's easier than it sounds, and it becomes habit, and a good habit to have. And it's just an amazing experience that I don't think anyone should pass up.